Just last week, a research team from the University of Maine announced they had determined the value of the state's lakes to our economy is about $14 billion. That includes not only the habitats around those lakes, but their recreational value as well.
More and more often these days, though, the natural beauty of those lakes and how we end up using them clash. As part of our continuing series on Maine's changing climate, meteorologist Jason Nappy shows us how two groups are working to save lakes under threat, both along the shore and below the surface.
Lakes are vital for people and wildlife, and more animals live where land and water meet than in any other habitat in Maine.
There are about 6,000 lakes and ponds in Maine, and some of them are in danger. Invasive aquatic species like you see here is called variable leaf milfoil.
The warmer our lakes and ponds are, the easier it is for blooms, for algae, and honestly for the spread of aquatic invasive species. Additionally, the ice cover is an issue as well. So the less ice, less thick ice also disrupts oxygen levels in the lakes, which is bad for fish and wildlife.
Francesca Gundrum is the advocacy director for Maine Audubon. She says there are new issues impacting lakes and ponds in the Pine Tree State.
New issues include climate impacts, warming waters, as well as, again, aquatic invasive species. They impact water quality.
She's not the only one sounding the alarm. The Lakes Environmental Association says variable leaf milfoil is the most common invasive species in Maine, but it's not the only issue threatening wildlife and wildlife habitat.
Additionally, development is a big issue as well. More than 85% of vertebrate species, those are birds, mammals, reptiles, etc., use the shoreland zone, so that area around our lakes and ponds at some point in their lifetime, and there's a lot of pressure to build and to develop along the edges of lakes and ponds.
Maine Audubon is concerned about temperature increases in lakes and ponds, not to mention the changing climate storm frequency and strength.
Bigger, more severe, stronger storms. So we're seeing more precipitation and more flooding events. So our culverts and other brooks and streams, etc., that filter out from lakes and ponds, they're just not able to compete with the amount of rainfall that we've had.
All these climate impacts add up to lots of damage and a big price tag to stay in the fight.
Damage from aquatic invasive species it's detrimental for wildlife and for people. It's a really expensive problem to deal with, and thankfully prevention is really the key, which is why we're really excited about some of the legislation we were able to forward this session, because it helps us address the problem before it becomes an outbreak.
The Lakes Environmental Association supported and helped move forward 4 bills to protect Maine's lakes. The idea is to keep Mainers recreating while not damaging sensitive habitat along lakes and ponds. This Raymond Cape zoning violation with rocks tumbling into the water shows why Bill LD 2101 was signed into law.
Living along the edge of a lake and pond is something that a lot of people want to do and to recreate on our lakes and ponds. But that habitat is really sensitive.
One of the 4 bills will also keep common loons top of mind.
Our loons nest right on the edge of lakes and ponds, and some of them do it, in sort of hidden coves, etc. So maybe you aren't seeing them, but the more we impact that shoreland zone and we remove available habitat, and it impacts the water quality too, we are impacting those birds, for example, that are right on the edge of the shore.
Gundrum says new wake boats used for recreation are becoming popular in Maine. It's a fun activity, but the propulsion technology stirs up sediment in lakes. One of these bills will move those boats away from the shoreline.
Almost every single animal in the state of Maine utilizes the habitat around, at some point in their life, around a lake or pond. So whatever we can do to protect them is vital.
It's a combined effort by local groups with the goal of keeping Maine's lakes and ponds good for wildlife and wildlife habitat. 2 of the 4 bills are signed and go into effect this summer. Meteorologist Jason Nappy, News Center, Maine.
To see a detailed list of the 4 bills and their status in the Maine legislature, just head to our website or our News Center Maine app and click on this story.